The hidden crisis: domestic abuse in law enforcement families. Domestic violence is a pervasive issue that affects communities everywhere, but it presents a unique and troubling challenge within the families of law enforcement officers. For decades, studies have indicated a significantly higher rate of intimate partner violence in police households compared to the general population, a finding that has sparked concern and calls for greater accountability within policing. While there is no single, comprehensive government entity that collects data on officer-involved domestic violence, various studies have attempted to measure its prevalence. A commonly cited statistic, though based on dated research, suggests that domestic violence occurs in at least 40% of police officer families. This figure, derived from a few key studies from the 1990s, stands in stark contrast to the estimated 10% of families in the general population. More recent research, while offering a wider range of percentages, continues to point to an elevated risk. A 2023 study of a police workforce in England found a lifetime prevalence of domestic abuse of around 22%. Another study from the early 2000s estimated that officers may perpetrate domestic violence at a rate of 28%, compared to 16% in the general population. These varying numbers highlight the difficulty in getting a precise and current measure, a challenge compounded by a code of silence that often discourages reporting and a lack of standardized data collection. Why the discrepancy? Several factors are believed to contribute to the elevated rates of domestic violence within law enforcement families. Researchers have pointed to the unique stressors of the job, including work-related stress and trauma. Officers are regularly exposed to violence, tragedy, and intense pressure, which can lead to psychological strain, including PTSD, and can spill over into their home lives. Police subculture, the traditional police subculture, which some studies link to authoritarianism and a militarized masculinity, may increase the likelihood of an officer engaging in physical or psychological violence against a partner. Access to weapons and power. The very tools and authority of their job can be used by an abusive officer to intimidate and control a partner. Victims often face the added fear that their abuser knows the location of shelters and has the ability to manipulate the legal system due to their professional connections. Barriers to accountability and reporting. For victims, reporting domestic violence by a police officer presents a unique set of obstacles. These include fear of retaliation. Victims may fear that the officer's colleagues will side with them or that the abuser will use their authority to obstruct a proper investigation. Many have been slow to create specific, effective guidelines. Historically, the most common discipline for a sustained allegation has been counseling, and internal investigations have sometimes failed to result in criminal charges. The blue wall of silence. The informal code that discourages officers from reporting on their colleagues can make it incredibly difficult for victims to find support within the system. The path forward. Addressing this issue requires a multifaceted approach. It begins with acknowledging the problem and the need for more comprehensive, up-to-date research. Furthermore, police departments must adopt and consistently enforce clear policies that prioritize victim safety and hold officers accountable. This includes mandatory reporting, thorough and impartial investigations, and consequences that are commensurate with the severity of the offense. Training on domestic violence and its unique dynamics within law enforcement families is also crucial for officers, supervisors, and internal affairs investigators. Ultimately, protecting the public from domestic violence must begin with ensuring that those sworn to protect are not perpetrating it in their own homes. By breaking the silence and demanding accountability,